What has confounded and poisoned the minds of billions around the world is religious lies and misinterpretations such as Genesis chapter 2 verse 17. But of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it, for in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. This word day was originally not here. Originally was the Hebrew word yom, coming from Hebrew Strong's 3117 yom, and it represented a particular part of the day, which is known as the heat of the day, and not the whole entire 24-hour time span that has been given to us by the English definition of what day is supposed to represent. So egotistical scholars removed the yom, heat of the day, and replaced it with day, 24-hour time span, an intentional mistranslation to confuse and confine the minds of people seeking the truth, such as telling someone a fire hydrant, a fire extinguisher is actually a hand grenade. And in Genesis chapter 2 verse 17 we have this word die, what comes from the word mawath 4197 Hebrew Strong's number, meaning drop dead, like taking deadly poison. So it was not sooner or later, it was an immediate thing. So this serpent of this garden told her that she would not die. So what is serpent? Found in Hebrew Strong's number 5175, Nakash, meaning the divine whisper, hiss, enchanter. Quran chapter 114 verse 4 as Al-Khanas, the withdrawing one, who is a whisperer. Snakes do not whisper. So, who is the serpent of Genesis chapter 3? And did he actually tell her the truth, that she would not drop dead? Well, we have to travel to Ezekiel chapter 29 verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and prophesy against him and against all of Egypt. This word man was originally Hebrew Strong's number 120 Adamite, which came from Hebrew Strong's number 119 through 131, ruddy, blush, pink, spotted race. And this word, Pharaoh, was originally Hebrew Strong's number 4428, meaning Malak, royal one, ruler. And the word prophecy was really Hebrew Strong's number 5012 in Naba, meaning predict. So this was another mistranslation, and it should read, sons of spotty ruddy red race, set thy face against the royal ruler king of Egypt, and predict future tense against him and against all of Egypt. To Ezekiel chapter 29 verse 3, this saith the Lord God, behold, I am against the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great dragon that lie in the midst of his river. Lord was originally Adonai, Hebrew Strong's number 135, coming from the word Adon, Hebrew Strong's number 113, meaning master, controller, sovereign of human divine. And the word God is plural for these beings, not one being. And this word dragon was originally Hebrew Strong's number 8577, Tanin, serpent, dragon, well. So this correct translation should actually read, thus said the master controller of the Elohim, behold, I am against the Pharaoh, king of Egypt, the great well serpent man that lieth in the midst of his river. What river are they referring to that encompasses Egypt, and who is this man? And who are the inhabitants of this land? We have to travel to Genesis chapter 2 verse 13. And the name of the second river is Gihon. The same as it that compasses the whole land of Ethiopia. Ethiopia was actually Cush in Hebrew Strong's number 3568, meaning the land of burnt black faces. So this being was actually originally native to this land of the burnt black faces. And the whole story of Genesis comes from the Papyrus of Turin, from the Museo Egizio of Turin, Italy. That was from a place that is now called by Deir El Medina by foreign Arabs invaders, which is part of Thebes of Egypt. It was a land of the crafters, spoke of a time known as the Taptui, where beings dwelled with humans near Luxor of Egypt, and it was a place of the truth keepers, displayed events of sexual activities in its papyrus. So, who is this serpent of Genesis chapter 3? He was born before Adam and Eve. He was from Machnat, Egypt. He was an enchanter. He was the wisest of all creatures. He lives at the Nahar Nayar River Nile. He was called the dragon. He was lied about by the Adamites Bible and Quran. He was also called the bronze, copper one. Now, what wise teacher Akadem Makba, ancient Egypt, was known as a serpent ruler, healer, scribe. We only have to look at names in Egyptian hieroglyphs to look for a snake under a non-name, and there is only one. We have Thahutwi, which is Thahutwi, also known as Dahutwi, Thoth, Tahuti, Hermes Trigonometes, the great wise man of the river, referred to as the dragon, referred to as a serpent of the garden, Nengeszira of the Sumerians. You read of him as Taming, the well man. You read him as Dogon, the great honored fish. He's referred to as Nakash, the whisperer, the master of the enchanters, mystic arts, craftsmanship, skills. He was depicted with the head of an ibis bird. Not that that is how he looked, but his representation of the quill that writes. But his true depiction, his image, was that of a half Nagaru black man and a half reptilian serpent man that took refuge in the river. His mother was Hiset, the bovine deity, whose image was that of a nourishing bovine cow. Yet his father was known as Inki, in Master Ki, Earth. Quetzalcoatl was his name in South America. New Dimwood was his name in the tablets of creation. A large homosaurus of a man, vast in right knowledge, royal bloodline of Anu, from the planet-sized ship known as Naberu. Naberu was in apparatus. Eber crosses you, skies, apparatus that crosses the skies. So, this serpent man was actually Thahutwi, Ningizida Thoth, and he told Eve the truth, he did not lie, that that being was pretending to be the all-knower creator, and this man, he was not the devil. I'm your brother in truth in the nutshell, and welcome to Soon to Be in Tune.